we are about to do some notes on polygons, right? So today's also rodeo day. So if you can't see me, imagine me with the cowboy hat and a cool belt buckle that says Texas, or somebody else say Tejas. All right. Now, today we're talking about polygons. So you have this sheet from yesterday. You were supposed to quote-unquote brainstorm, but you had the notes in front of you, so let's talk about this. Polygons are shapes that have what? Now, if you look at your this sheet that you got yesterday, polygons, as you can see right here and right here, okay, polygons have straight sides that are connected. They're not open, okay? So again, polygons have straight sides, they're not curved, and they are closed, not open. So let's go ahead and fill that in right here, okay? So there it is on both sides. So polygons have straight sides, they do not have curved sides. Polygons have closed sides, they do not have open sides, okay? So let's write that down for a second. With these attributes, we're going to look down at the bottom, and we're going to try to cross out stuff that is not a polygon, okay? Now, we're not going to circle anything yet, but we will in a hot minute, okay? So, I'm not going to pull it all the way down, just this far, okay? Now, looking at the bottom, out of the ones you can see so far, at least on the front board, which ones should I cross out? So let's first look at straight sides. Which one of these do not have straight sides? Okay, so I see, oh sorry, I forgot to mention, up here, polygons have 3 plus sides, so you can't have a 2-sided polygon, you can't have a 1-sided polygon, it's got to be 3 or more. So a triangle, and then up from there. Okay, so add that to your little list of 3 sides, 1 or 2 sides. Okay, and then we're going to start crossing some stuff out. So the ones that you see on the board that I crossed out, you can cross those out. So curved stuff, you got these ovals, you got this upside down looking hill thing. All right, I'm going to bring it down a little bit. What else is curved? Okay, down here, those two have curves in them, right? So nothing that has a rounded or curvy side is a polygon. And then also it cannot have open or overlapping sides, right? So notice that has an opening down there that's overlapping. And then up here, this segment is not a polygon. That's one side, but it must have 3 or more sides, right? So again, polygon, y'all know what poly stands for, that prefix? Many, multiple, more than one, right? Now, here's a little, you might think you know this, but you may not know this. What's a gon? What does the gon part stand for? So poly means many, gon means what? Now, you've probably actually been taught that it means many sides, okay? So I'm gonna hit you with a truth bomb, okay? I'm gonna hit you with some knowledge, all right? We're gonna lasso you up, some straight up truth, all right? So here's the deal. G-O-N, that gon, comes from the same root of G-E-N-U, okay? And for some of y'all who might have been raised like I was, has anyone heard the word genuflect? It's okay if you haven't. So if you ever find yourself in a church in which you have to bend down on your knees, that's called genuflecting. So really, what polygon is getting at is many angles, because the gen that it comes from is like bended knees. Lots of different little, so like, check it out. These are bended knees right here. Get a little knobby knee right there with a shoe. A little knobby knee right here with a shoe. Okay? So polygon really means many bended parts. Okay? Getting like a little squat in here, you know? All right, so Now you know what polygon means, but if you say many-sided, that's technically true too. Okay, so polygon, many-sided figure, more than 3. All right, now, what's next? Oh, well, now I got those nasty knees on there. All right, flip it over to the back. What is a diagonal? Okay, a diagonal. I hope you know what it means in general, but when it comes to polygons, a diagonal connects your corners or your vertices. So I want everyone to know what a vertex is. A vertex is like a corner, and if you have more than one vertex, don't say vertexes, because that's not a word. It's vertices. Okay, the plural of vertex is vertices, right? So a diagonal is a segment that connects non-consecutive vertices. Okay, and that says connects. I know that C is kind of sketchy and whatever. Okay. Now we have instructions on this. It says to flip it over and draw all the diagonals on each of the polygons. We're going to kind of make our work a little shorter. We're going to do it on one, okay? But let's flip it back to the front, and we're going to try to draw some diagonals, okay? So if you still need this, I'm going to freeze it over on the side here. So we go forward, and we flip it to the front. So looking at this octagon, which we'll get to in a minute, but this stop sign looking thing, I'm going to draw every single diagonal, okay? So let's see that. From that one corner, you can get 5 diagonals. But guess what? You can get 5 diagonals from every single corner, every vertex. So if I keep going and going and going, I get all those diagonals, okay? So try to draw all those diagonals. Remember, we're on the front side. You're getting some practice drawing diagonals. Connect every single vertex with a diagonal. And the race is on. George Jones? Country reference? Whatever. And the beat goes on? Different style. Do you want to sing? Okay. Mrs. Marrero. Hey, we could do a karaoke day.
Hey. When X is 0, what is Y? Yeehaw, yeehaw.
All right, so anyways, so those are what diagonals look like. Sometimes, so if you look right here, what just popped up on this one right here, sometimes diagonals are outside the figure, which is okay. So again, right here, see what I'm pointing at? Right here. Sometimes diagonals can be outside. That's a unique type of polygon we're going to talk about here in a minute, okay? Everyone's working on our tests, right? All right. So, more outside diagonals. Here's another outside diagonal right here. Okay, so number 4, what about concave and convex? Okay, so concave, notice how the word concave has the word cave in it. Okay, so what do you know about a cave? Okay, it's like inside something, okay? How many of y'all have ever had something cave in, okay? Like, hopefully you haven't gotten a wreck where your, like, bumper gets caved in or something, but maybe you've seen it, right? So, stuff happens, right? So, but concave is when your polygon caves in, okay? So here's the way I would write this. Concave polygons have a vertex that is caved in or pointing inward, okay? So if you look at one of your corners and it looks like it's kind of pointing inside, it's kind of caved in, that's a concave polygon. And if it's not concave, you call it convex. Convex all point out. Concave has at least one pointing in. It's like you punched it and it's like, poof, caved it, okay? But don't punch a polygon. Yippee-yay!
So do you understand
Got to be that close. All right, so concave. Any questions on what concave means? Now, you want to see what it looks like, flip it over to the front, okay? we're going to circle our concave figures. I drew a little example right there. Yeah. So here's a little example. Sorry, it's still on the back side. If I drew a concave figure, I would have a diagonal on the outside. That's how you can kind of tell if it's concave. If we go to the front, okay, I'm going to circle all the concave figures. Does everyone see the one I circled right here? This one is concave because 4 of those corners are pointing inward. Okay. What's another one? Okay, this one over here, and then this one's also concave. The diagonal's on the outside. And that'll do for concave. So any questions on concave? What does it mean? Okay, the name tells you. Caves in. All right, number 5. In a complete sentence, we're going to explain the difference between regular and irregular. Now, a regular polygon has all congruent sides and angles. Okay? So again, regular, the name implies, it's the way it should be. It's quote-unquote regular. All the sides are the same. All the angles are the same. Okay? So I'm going to draw a little picture of that. Regular has to have tick marks on every side, and all the angles are the same, so it has to have arcs on every side. If it's labeled like that, then you know it's regular, because everything's the same. Okay? Now, what would irregular look like? An ugly-looking irregular polygon? Okay, and that's a bad example because this is not straight like it should be. But you get the idea. If it's not perfectly all the same, it's irregular. Okay? So we drew an example, and everything was great. All right? Now, do we know how to name some of these there polygons? So, now, don't make me depressed and cry right now. What's a 3-sided polygon called? A triangle. Yay. Okay, so you know that. Triangle. Easy. What about a 4-sided figure? So, and if anyone wrote square, okay, so what's the prefix for 4, right? Hint, it's this little muscle right here on your legs, okay? Sometimes you want to get some, get some lunges in. You want to get some little cowboy lunges in. Gotta get the rodeo muscles going, right? So those are called your quads, and these are called quadrilaterals, right? Question?
So do you act like you never?
All the time. This is true life. True life files of Mr. G.
She didn't say anything about sometimes when you come and you wear your
No, like when I came at SpongeBob, she was like facepalm. I was like, it's whatever. And we went to our pineapple into the sea, and everything was great. So, what's a 5-sided figure? Pentagon. Y'all know there's an actual building called the Pentagon. That's 5-sided, right? Other things that have 5 sides are like a pentagram, okay? Things like that. But pent is the prefix for 5, right? 6, what do you think? Okay, hexagon. The easy way to remember that is 6 has an X, hex has an X. X, right? So that's kind of your clue for hexagon. What about 7? Heptagon, okay? So 6 and 7 start with an H, but 7 is a heptagon. What about 8? Okay, so hopefully you know the animal that lives in the sea, called the octopus, has 8 tentacles or whatever. So yeah, octagon actually. It's also where you'll find me on the weekends. All right. Catch me on the next UFC. What? Well, the octagon is where students try to catch me when they're trying to be salty with Mr. G. They don't.
That's what they fight in is called.
It's,
they fight in an octagon shape.
when they do that like brutal, like beat you up till you pass out fighting, it's in an octagon.
No. Yeah, well they fight in an octagon. I saw one where the guy kicked another dude's shoulder.
Okay, number 9. 9-sided figure is a what? Okay, 9 sounds like non, so nonagon, okay? And then, y'all know how many, 10 years is called a decade, so 10-sided, decagon. Now, here's the deal. 11 and 12. 11 was not in your notes, so I'm going to help you. And in fact, I'm not going to help you. Espanol is going to help you, okay? So if you do 10 plus 1, what's the Spanish number for 1? Uno, okay? So what am I going to put in front of decagon? Un, no O, just un. Un decagon. So guess what 12 is going to be? What's a 2? Dos, without the S. Do decagon, okay?
I used to have a dodecagon.
There you go, and that's because it's 12 faces, right? So, un decagon for 11, because you think of uno, 11, right? And do decagon for 12, because it's dos, 12, okay? So, maybe that'll help you, because we are all Espanol, what do you call it? Profesoras and profesoros and teacheros and stuff, right? So, now, what about past 13? 13 and beyond, okay? So 13, 14, 15, 16. You don't have to memorize it. It's not a tresagon. Don't worry about that, okay? You're just going to say the number and then gone. So 13 is going to be a 13 gone. 14 is going to be a 14 gone. Pick a number that's greater than 13. 60? A 60 gone. Dab. All right, so an n-gon means whatever it is past 12, you're going to put that number and say the word gone, okay? So if you want a 1 million-sided gone, it'll be a 1 million gone, right? Now you're going to use all this information to do today's... Yes. So you're going to use that to do this assignment. Should be kind of easy. It's kind of shorter day today, being early release. But while we work, we're going to have to listen to some rodeo music. It's going to be good times, right? So lasso up these problems and saddle up, little doggies, because we're about to do some hog time of some polygons. Sound good? All right. Bet.